False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Bueller, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who puts the I before you, who looks at Assembly Hall as something out of 1984, who would smoke him through the filter if he ever had a smoke in his life, but he hasn't because he's a good person. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. Indiana's national champions. How are you?
Let's go, baby. No, what a game, man. It was not a blowout like I thought it could potentially be. It was a much closer game, hard fought, came down to the last possession, and we got a good one. I'm glad we didn't fizzle out in what's been a really, really fun college football playoff.
Yeah, we got a good one. And I was right. Indiana won and Miami covered. Let's go.
100%. Yeah, you called it perfectly.
I didn't bet on it like the guys who are watching the Broncos Bills games at Hudson Grill at a little 5 points. They were like betting every paycheck on everything on some sort of mobile app. I don't know how they were doing it in Atlanta, but they were doing it.
Hey man, there's ways around everything these days. The prediction markets are the dumbest things in the entire world, but
Yeah, and I mean, so is Terry Pagula not giving Brandon Bean a gig that he would not give anybody on the Sabres.
I mean, just letting Brandon Bean keep his job is the most fireable offense I've ever seen.
I mean, I was all for getting rid of Sean McDermott. He was just an excuse factory. You need to go in a different direction. Maybe you hire Mike
hmm
McDaniel. Maybe you bring Brian Daboll back. Maybe you give Joe Brady. You have options here, but you
hmm
got to clean house too.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a two-prong problem that you took a one-prong solution to, which is not, doesn't work out.
Oh, whether it's Kalishi or the Green Man Alishi with the two-prong crown, let's get started with some run here. I'm gonna run with this. God, that was so
That was
good.
so good.
Uh,
I'm just vibing now. Like hell yeah.
yeah, just fucking Judas Priester flipping back in his head right now. And that's what the man we're most excited right now to see have a beer. That'd be that's Coach Cig, and because he's got the most well coached and the most disciplined team. That team won today. That really is what it came down to. It was very close. I would argue, until I'm blue in the face, that Miami is the more talented team.
hmm
That was very apparent. They almost won this game, but it came down to a slew of questionable penalties, by the defensive backfield, a couple roughing passers that didn't get called on it. Yeah, Coach Six didn't get fined for that. But then
hmm
also Miami had some atrocious special teams today.
Oh yeah, no, 100. The special teams was awful, and then I don't know if you caught Coach Sig's quotes after the game, but he was talking about Fernando's touchdown run that ultimately sealed the game for Indiana, and he basically said something to the effect of, we had seen that look when we were doing this specific RPO multiple times throughout the game, and we changed the blocking scheme on it because we knew it would open up a different type of hole. And he goes, we were just taking a gamble that they were going to be in that same type of coverage, and like that's kind of indicative of who this team is, man. Like they know the ins and outs, not just of what they're capable of and what they can do, but the ins and outs of what you're going to do and when you might counter and when you might try to stick with what's been working for you. And they're going to use that against you. Like the more I watched this Indiana team, and specifically tonight, the two things that stood out was one, like, and to your point about being well disciplined, like they're not going to beat themselves. Like the false start penalty on the drive where they had to settle for a field goal when they could have iced the game had they not had the false start penalty, like that was like the one big like F up in this entire game from them. And it still didn't come back to bite them. But like the other thing is that they don't deviate from what they do. They're not going to get sucked into your game. They might not suck you into their game, but they're not going to deviate from the plan because they are so well coached, so well disciplined that their plan, they are confident enough that it's going to work. And damn it, it worked 16 times this year. So like,
Follow me on this. I was trying to figure out who Curt Cignetti reminds me of, not just necessarily the dad from Up or Doug Man. He looks a lot like Doug Man
yeah,
growing up. For me growing up, that's what he does. He's kind of like he's probably the same age and kind of reminds me. It's Greg Maddox a little bit.
that's a good call. I like that.
He's planting these things here. And because you said that about the 12-yard scamper to pay dirt on 4th and 5 for Mendoza, they were waiting for a look. Heatherman coached his ass off in this game, and
Mhm.
he's the reason Miami got to this point. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator, but like he saw this look and we're going to take advantage. That was the design, QB sneak to get 5 yards and Fernando when Fernando Mania all the way into the end zone.
That's
Their
right.
only their only other offensive touchdown came on like what they used what Noah Kasky, the guy I've always blanked on his name, the tight end that transferred from Wisconsin.
Hmm.
They put him like at fullback and they did something weird like that was so unexpected that there's no way they could have prepared for that.
Yeah.
They couldn't do much. Like Elijah Surratt didn't do anything in this game. Omar
No.
Cooper had a couple plays. Charlie Becker was unbelievable, but like
Yeah. Like it feels like every time over like the past like 2 months when Indiana's needed like just a ridiculous big time catch, it's been Charlie Becker coming up with it. Because like we go back, even going back to the Penn State game and the Omar Cooper catch in the end zone, that catch doesn't happen if Charlie Becker doesn't make that catch right before that on the sideline.
and then the following week versus Wisconsin, it was just like, who the
Yeah.
hell is that dude?
Yeah.
But it's just I mean, I don't think Mario cost his team this game at all. I think he
No.
he coached about as well as he could have, and I mean, I think his claim for being up there among the top four in college football right now is validated, regardless of what happened here.
Mhm.
But Coach Cig, I think he's past Ryan Day. I think he's coming up on Kirby pretty quickly.
No, 100%. It's one of those things where like there's no stone left unturned. Like you mentioned Miami looking awful on special teams tonight. Part of that is obviously Miami. Like I'm not trying to like leave any blame or like take away blame from Miami where it's possibly deserved. Having said that, a lot of it is just Indiana was better. And it's not necessarily that Miami was atrocious by any aspect, but like to the point about like seeing looks and stuff like that. If I noticed it in the first half of this game. Whenever Miami's punter punts, he's the Aussie style. He's running side
Yes.
to side, and like that's why how that punt was blocked and got into the end zone is
Yes.
they shifted coverage to that side. So like it's literally just every I is dotted, every T is crossed, and like it you Fernando Mendoza is the perfect embodiment of it because he's so I don't mean this derogatorily, but like nerdy. Like he's just a nerdy quarterback and like he embodies like we're gonna have everything buttoned up, but like it trickles all the way down in every facet of this Indiana team.
Yeah, he's Kirk Cousins drinking athletics, man. That's what
Yes,
he
100%.
You brought up a great thing about the punt there. I've been noticing that with Miami. They've always kind of gone with Aussie guys ever since,
Hmm.
Lou Headley and everything like that. And Miami's usually really great at special teams. They
Hmm.
can usually make these long field goals. Yes, it's at home. It's a high stakes situation. You doinked it. It's what happens. But Indiana knew like they're going to run to this side, so we're going to overload. And the guy that kept talking about Kamara like he had been struggling all year to try to make plays, but he'd made a lot last year. Well, he
Hmm.
made the biggest play that really that's why he won well, effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he made a lot of big defensive plays. He showed up big tonight when it mattered the
Yeah.
most. Like he made a lot of plays defensively as well. Um, the end like I like to the point of like Indiana just knowing themselves and knowing everyone else or knowing their opponents so well. Malachi Tony was almost a non-factor in this game. Like he had a couple plays where he did break loose, but like he's one of the most talented players in college football. That's going to happen. Miami was trying to get him loose a whole hell of a lot more than he got loose, and Indiana just had the coverages there and like knew what Miami was going to run to try to do that.
I mean, Mark Fletcher played his tail off. I think
Hmm.
the running backs, all three, with him being black as well, these guys are built for the NFL. I think like Himby is like the bigger name because obviously he's like the starter and everything like that. Fletcher's going to be a stud, and Black has some sort of there's some sort of component with how he runs for Indiana. But it's like he's always falling forward, similarly to. I'm not going to say he's going to be Bijan Robinson, but Bijan Robinson does that, and some team is going to love him. Like he's going to go play for the Chiefs and help them win the Super Bowl next year or something really dumb.
No, for sure. And Himby, like it's funny you mentioned the Chiefs because you know the meme of Isaiah Pacheco where it's like he runs like he bites people. That's how Himby runs. He doesn't run like it's not the same style as Pacheco, but he does run like he bites people.
I saw this on Facebook today. I had a picture of like what Slash growing up in Southern California, and he loved having snakes. He's all about snakes, and his first snake I think was like a reticulated anaconda or something, some sort of ball pit viper thing. His name was Clyde. He loved Clyde. He's like first day I got Clyde, kind of on the come up. I'm dropping out of high school, planning GNR. First day I got Clyde. Clyde bit me. And as we're getting bigger and we're traveling all over the world, I had friends visit and like watch over for Clyde. He'd bite him all the time, but he only bit me that one time.
Just a warning
Damn,
shot. Just a warning shot.
damn good snake, I guess.
Damn good snake. And I'm gonna run with our second topic here, which is a damn good coach, man. And what I have written down here is Coach Cig is chain smoking these natties, dog. Like this isn't the last national championship that Curt Cignetti's gonna win, man. He to every point we just talked about with how he coaches this team. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes home and thinks about what's going to happen next year. He's not going to celebrate this. Like that's like he I've said it before, and I truly don't think it's blasphemous in terms of coaching style and the effectiveness of that style. He's about as close to Nick Saban as I think we've ever seen, and from the Nick Saban coaching tree. Like no one has this. Like I've not seen any branch of that tree have the it's almost curmudgeony unhappiness with success because it's the there's a disease. It's not a disease, but it's a I can't think of the right word for it. There's just a yearning, a hunger for more. Like you're not satisfied. You can't be satisfied. You're insatiable. That's the word I was trying to look for. Insatiable. And like Nick Saban always had that. Like that's why we loved him. And Curt Cignetti has that about him as well.
He's like that French dude who had a stomach that wouldn't stop, like Tartori. He kept eating snakes and babies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just out there just going. Yeah, I think we've seen different branches of like the Saban coaching tree have success. I mean, we saw another one today with Mario Cristobal.
Mhm.
We've seen Dan Lanning have success. We've seen Lane. We've seen Kirby. It's really there's different variations and subtleties with this, but you're probably right. Um, he's probably the most similar
Mhm.
to Coach Saban, probably because he's the closest in age to Coach Saban.
Yeah, I
Just
mean it doesn't hurt. That's definitely a good factor in it.
yeah, I mean Kirby's got a little bit more youthfulness on himself a bit. But also, Cignetti is what a former quarterback at West Virginia. I think he coached
Mhm.
receivers, so it's a different side of the ball,
Yeah, I was about to
which
say
is
Kirby has a DB mentality is really what he
well,
has.
well, I mean, he's a defensive player. Defensive players like let's
Yeah,
blow stuff up. Offensive guys like stay on schedule.
that's right. 100%.
Man, you can't. I don't know
Let's
my
blow
dish.
stuff
I
up.
don't know if you can hear my dishwasher going in the background. We have one now, but it's great.
I can't hear it. So it's a good dishwasher. It's nice and quiet.
So yeah, I'm in favor of Cignetti winning another one. I don't think Indiana repeats. I mean, I
No.
just because like for as much as I like Josh Hoover, you got to replace Fernando Mendoza. I
Mhm.
don't think that that's going to happen. I did see somewhere on three put it out there way too early, top 25. They have Indiana five, which I think that makes sense.
100%. I actually just published mine for fansided.com and I do mine a little differently, just like I do when I during the season. I'm projecting the preseason 25. So it's not necessarily how I would have the top 25 teams, but more what I think it's going to look like. And you can read my thoughts because I make sure I get my own opinion in there, of course. But yeah, I think Indiana as a top 10 team is pretty much a lot going into next season because yeah, Josh Hoover might be a downgrade from Fernando Mendoza, but like you're gonna lose Elijah Surratt, yeah, you're gonna lose Omar Cooper, yeah, you're gonna lose one, maybe both of these backs, but like they still have a top 10 portal class coming in. They've also like upgraded in recruiting. You have an experienced quarterback in Josh Hoover who, yeah, he might not be a Heisman winning quarterback like Fernando Mendoza, but he's still pretty good. He's probably still better than Curtis Rourke, which you got to the college football playoff with the year prior. So like, yeah, Indiana's not going anywhere. And like I'm with you. I don't think it's back-to-back national championships by any stretch of the imagination for Indiana, but like it's clear that they had like what he has going in Bloomington right now is not something that's, a flash in the pan. This isn't necessarily like Michigan State making it to the 14 playoff that one year with Connor Cook. This isn't
Jesus.
it's not Desmond Ritter in Cincinnati, making it to the playoff that one year. Like it's you know, yes,
TCU
they
with Max Duggan. Yeah, it's not
yeah,
that.
100%. Like this isn't a 1 year wonder type of thing. This is a new blood. It's not a blue blood, obviously, but like it's a new blood.
This isn't 2019 LSU. There's staying power here.
100%.
But yeah, you're right that you have Indiana in the top 10. I would say like towards the top of the list in some order, you got to have Georgia, Ohio State, and Texas. I feel like those
Yeah.
three teams. Notre Dame's up there too. I'd say Oregon's pretty high. Miami, we'll see with Mensa. I think that they're still probably playoff. Texas Tech will be high too, I would venture to guess.
Yeah, my top six are in order are Texas, Georgia. This is again projecting the AP top 25, but I would probably have it close to this. Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Indiana, Texas Tech. So yeah, that I mean those are
Yeah,
the top six teams. I think I have Oregon seven, and I believe Miami came in at 10. So I mean
yeah,
still a top 10 team because yeah, you're losing a lot, but you are also like there's a reason that you're getting to the national championship game. There's a reason you come on this program and immediately say Miami is the was the more talented team because they are. Like the talent pool is not drying up in Coral Gables.
no, we saw like Bain and Mesidor especially. Mesidor's a first round pick now. Like I
Mhm.
can't, I don't care. He's old man. He's good, dude. He's got something like he's gonna go to the Patriots at like 31 and
Oh yeah.
just yeah, it's either gonna be him or CJ Allen go to the Patriots. It's gonna be great for Mike Vrabel and them.
Mike Vrabel is going to become his new whoever it is their new best friend for
Yeah,
sure.
he's like, you got to see you smoke more, man. So we need you out there just ripping darts, going
Is that
after him.
depends on what kind of mood Mike Vrabel's in, whether or not he wins a Super Bowl. Because I don't know if you remember what he said he would give to win a Super Bowl.
Um, well, he's gonna get there because Denver's cooked.
Yeah, just shouts out Jarrett Stidham. Have you happened to see the picture of Jarrett Stidham when he was the starting quarterback at Auburn with Bo Nix as a recruit?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if you saw this. Ben DiNucci was doing studio work for CBS Sports Network, and now he's on the Broncos.
What's more impressive, Ben DiNucci coming from the CBS studios or Philip Rivers coming from the high school sidelines?
I mean, probably. I mean, we know Philip Rivers is going in like Alabama Catholic school. He's playing against just a bunch of guys named like Jedediah from Huntsville. Are you kidding? Ben DiNucci's got to go up there and hold his own against like Aaron Taylor and whoever the hell is from UC.
100%.
Ben DiNucci was on the Falcons. He's been on the Cowboys. This is one of our crossovers, man. And he was a JMU
I was
guy
about to say,
too.
isn't he a JMU guy too on top of that?
Ben DiNucci, what a legend. But yeah, congratulations to Coach Cig. You've done it, man. You've done it.
100%.
You're gonna win at least one more, and they're gonna build a statue for you. Maybe on top of maybe it's like when you throw a dart and it gets stuck inside another dart. That's what he's gonna do to the Bob Knight statue.
100%, man. I do want to shout out Indiana for this just because I think it's a cool sports fact. Indiana right now and for the next year, they will be the last team to win a college football playoff national or a college football national championship as an undefeated team, while also simultaneously being the last college basketball program to win an undefeated national championship. Pretty cool that that is at the same school at the same time.
Yeah, 75, 76. Indiana did it. They won it the year after my dad graduated from college. So
Hell yeah.
that's I was talking about Assembly Hall. I was like looking at it like the viewing party. It just goes up. Like it's built before and there's like a little tiny bandstand on either side. Apparently they didn't have like advertisements in there until like 2000.
Oh
Bob
yeah.
Knight refused.
Are we shocked? Like, Bob Knight can say he refused. I'm sure there were a lot of brands that were like, I refuse because of Bob Knight.
It just goes up. And then like they put like the scoreboard, you can't see half of it. God. It's all coming up, Indiana, and also I got John Mellencamp is really celebrating on this. I'll tell you some stuff about John Mellencamp after this show.
Hell yeah.
He may or may not have had a beach house next to my aunt.
Love that. Love that.
And speaking of loving that, I don't love this. I'm gonna pass to the next topic here. I'm gonna read what you put here. I didn't even see this. Um, Carson Beck's Snapchat fueled Van Wilder experience ended exactly how it should have. Look, everybody kept saying that he was like, this hero and it's like this redemption story. They can kiss my ass.
Mhm.
They can. This guy was driving a Lamborghini in Athens to Ben Epps to fly to Miami every weekend on a PJ. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. He played his ass off. He was super competitive. He gave his arm up for Georgia. They rebuilt it like Luke Skywalker. It was great. He only lost 6 games in college football, and one of them was tonight.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like, the way I said it when we were putting together these show notes, because obviously with the way the game played out, we didn't know how to put together the show notes until right before we came on here.
Yes.
So, we're definitely flying by the seat of our pants tonight, but like it's fitting that there was one back-breaking mistake, or sorry, two back-breaking mistakes, but one that actually ended the game, and it was Carson Beck making a mistake. And as soon as the ball left his hand, I knew that was an interception. Like that ball was to no one but like the middle of the field, where there were more Indiana defenders than there were Miami offensive players.
Yeah, we knew he was due for like a pick of this sort. He th threw them his entire Georgia career. Yeah, I don't know if he has thrown anybody under the bus yet. I'm sure he probably did.
I don't know who
But
he's throwing under the bus. Maybe the turf monster.
I don't know, man. I think he gets drafted. I mean, he's like a third round pick probably.
Yeah, I would say third or fourth rounder, somewhere in there. Like if we don't hear him called at the end of day two, he'll be one of the first names we hear on day three.
Hanging in that green room like fellow Georgia legends, Jacob Beast and Jake Fromm. It's gonna be. Stetson Bennett was a day three pick.
Hell yeah, he was. More
Oh
accomplished
man,
than all of them, though.
I know. It's he battles. He tried everything. He played very conservative initially, trying to figure this out. But I don't know if Miami had the receiving core to really kind of make much
Mhm.
with like Pons in the secondary. I think was it Fisher, the linebacker? That guy is just that's that's John Favreau's character in that Christmas movie. Keeps out of his dad.
Screensaver.
Orlando.
That's right.
Was it Dallas or was it Denver? I don't remember.
I think he's Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. I think Tim McGraw is. God, what a movie. What a cast.
They don't make movies like that anymore, dude.
They certainly do not. What a shame. But no,
No,
yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. Like, I mean, it goes back to the earlier point I made about Malachi Tony. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason Indiana could key in on him the way that they did. And that's because, like, he's the real difference maker of that receiving core. And I'm not saying that Miami's wide receiver core is like bad. I think it's actually a solid unit, but like there's not a Tony's the difference maker, and the rest of the guys are complementary pieces, and the complementary pieces just didn't quite step up tonight.
no, no. You can only give the ball to Mark Fletcher so much. His mom just she didn't have to drive very far for this game, but she drove a lot the previous game.
Yeah, she's been all over, but she got to experience the L at home, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't know who's a bigger mom supporter. Was it what's her name? It was like Linda Fletcher, I think that was her name.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Elsa Mendoza.
Dude, Elsa Mendoza seems like a lovely lady. So
Well,
does Linda Fletcher too. Let's be
I
clear. They
mean,
both seem like lovely ladies.
they should have like a podcast like Angela and Pam from The Office talking
Absolutely.
about college football. It's called the driving cast with Linda and Elsa.
Would watch. 100% would watch.
Uh, we'd probably change our entire show setup based around that.
Yes, absolutely.
Part of me wanted it for Beck, and then part of me was like, "Not a hell with this guy." It's just this weird dichotomy that plays in my head with him. That's the other thing with like life right now. People just can't have nuance or tact with anything.
Mhm.
Everybody's got to be a lover or a hater. And I see it on X today. I'm like, do you know how stupid you sound with all this dumb stuff coming out of your mouth? It's
Yeah. There's
there's
room for grays, which is a really, especially in like the sports world, that's the dumbest thing in the world. The sports world is gray, period. There's not black and white to any of this, man.
no, like we like Carson Beck, who's just kind of a one of one type of guy, immensely talented. I don't think he throws the most catchable ball, but I think
Mm.
he's tough as hell, and I think he makes a lot of really good reads. I think his arm lets him down.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would you be surprised if Carson Beck has a 10-year career in the NFL, maybe makes like 10 starts in his entire career, like as a backup, but like those 10 starts look pretty good and it probably gets him a solid contract at some point. Like I'd like that seems like a reasonable future for what Carson Beck's going to do.
I mean, he's going to replace Mac Jones in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That kind of feels
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's going to happen. He may win a playoff game like TJ Yates.
Yeah, 100%. Or yeah,
Matt, or maybe the best case is he's Matt Schaub. Just
Matt,
throwing picks, man. Just throwing them, dude.
worst case scenario, he's CJ Stroud. Just kidding. Um
CJ Stroud. I literally went on cue with Rich Q. And I says, I'm trying to be nice about this. The guy's a moron. That's the dumbest
Yeah.
quarterback I've seen since Jeff George. The guy, his wonder luck is like a 12, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's I felt so bad for D'Amico. He's like, I'm gonna like finesse punt. I'm gonna pump like down with 2 minutes left because my quarterback doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
I saw like the argument that I've seen people make for Stroud is that obviously like he did win a playoff game in these playoffs. He won a playoff game last year as well. Um Obviously the losses have looked really bad, and honestly it didn't look good in the win this year either. And someone pointed out, and I'm trying to remember, I can't remember exactly who it was. When I think of it, I will attribute this to them, but in CJ Stroud's playoff wins, the Texans defense has allowed a total, I believe it's 3 wins. The defense has allowed a total of 32 points. The defense has also scored, the defense, not the offense, the defense has also scored 32 points. So CJ Stroud has won 3 playoff games by needing to score like 3 points, is really what it boils down to in the aggregate.
And I got something from that AFC divisional round game I got to share with you. I was thinking about this. I got a nickname for your boy, Drake May.
Now hit me with it.
Medusa. He just people whenever he plays anybody in the NFL, the Patriots, people just turn to stone. Like he plays well. He also wins games where like he doesn't play good at all. And everybody,
100%.
I don't know what the hell happens. I don't know what's going on. Whenever they play him, like I mean, it seems like it's like he's won like 15 games this year, and I feel like he's played really good in maybe nine. That's about it.
The thing is like he had, even when he plays poorly, he has these like touching God moments, like once a game. Like that throw to Kayshon Boutte was unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
in the snow, just an absolute dot, like to the other side of to the corner of the field, and like yeah, he didn't play well before that, but damn, he played well when he needed to win the game with that throw. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just he he has like, and let's be clear, he's 23 years old. So like I think some of the like Medusa nature of him is he is going to grow out of that. He is just 23. He's also throwing to Kayshon Boutte as his number 2 wide receiver. So like, there are some things that could be upgraded there. But yeah, no, I mean the Patriots are probably going back to the Super Bowl, man. It's wild.
Yeah. So Bo Chapman nicks his ankle broke. It's
At least it wasn't on the kneel, like we initially thought it was, which would have been the worst thing in the world.
Well, the good news is you can still turn the ball over 5 times like Josh Allen, or once like Carson Beck and still lose by about the same margins.
That's right, dude. There's so many. I saw, I believe it was Ian Hartitz, who, let me just say this. He works for Fantasy Life, Matthew Berry's company. If you don't follow Ian Hartitz on X or Twitter, do so now. He's one of the funniest people that is on the entire app. But he's also quite informative if you like want to look at, football numbers and fantasy stuff. But he tweeted out something that of the like top 10 worst quarterback performances by EPA per play in the wild card era, 4 of them happened in these playoffs. And I'm like,
Jeez.
my God, like how like this is so bad.
I saw something like who Josh Allen's beaten in the playoffs, and it's just a collection of just drill monkey stupids out there. He can beat tomato cans. And I'm on the show with Rich Q today. He's like, his first playoff game versus the Texans, he threw one of the worst fumbles of all time. And then, like, his 7 years later, he's doing the same thing. Man can't learn.
No.
Man, whoever the Bills hire, he's got to start taking accountability for some of these losses. Like, you're
Yeah.
30, man. It's enough. You gotta take accountability. I don't know if Beck's gonna take accountability. Maybe Beck could be his backup in Buffalo. Just the no accountability zone there in Orchard Park.
There we go. Yeah, the quarterbacks are untouched. I mean, I'll give Josh Allen some like I do want to say that there's a reason I was crapping on Brandon Bean as hard as I was earlier because man, if I was Josh Allen, I probably wouldn't take accountability for much either. Because like I'd look around me and be like, "What the hell do you want me to do? This team sucks. I'm the only good player here."
Uh, yeah, no, just keep pounding, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep pounding the rock, and I'm gonna punt to finish this off, man.
Hell yeah.
Um, we were kind of talking about this, and I was surprised that we were aligned on this, but Miami might be a top 10 team going into next year. This might be the last time we see them at this level for a little bit because like
Yeah.
Mario Cristobal has the talent pool running, but there also felt like there was something special about this collection of talent and the way it gelled together. Like we can dog on Carson Beck a little bit, and I think deservedly so. But there was also some like I think everyone in that Miami locker room had full faith in Carson Beck. I think they were behind Carson Beck. I think that this was a very cohesive unit. And that's why Miami was able to achieve what they were able to achieve this year. Once they found that cohesion at some point during this regular season, they went and they ran with it and like got them to the national championship game. Miami's had talent before. That's not really an issue when you're at the U, and especially under Mario Cristobal. But sometimes you need the secret sauce to kind of get you over the hump. Worried that secret sauce isn't necessarily going to be there anytime soon.
Yeah, there's always teams like this that come up just short or lose like in the semifinals of whatever sport it is. You're like, oh, well, they'll be back. They'll definitely be back. And there's been a lot of teams over the years in a lot of different sports that we really love that, they didn't do it. 21 Bengals didn't do it.
Yeah, 100%. We thought Joe Burrow would be going to a lot of Super Bowls. It'd be him and Mahomes every year competing to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC, and that obviously has not been the case.
I'm trying to think who else is another one.
I mean, I've got like the 2018 Red Sox were one of the best baseball teams I've seen in the best past decade, and 2 years later they traded Mookie Betts. So like, yeah,
And you get the '07 banner behind you. '07 Rockies are damn good too.
100%. And now they're the Rockies. Like,
Yeah. What the 2018 Nashville Predators. That's another
hmm yeah.
that's one out there too. I mean, I've had what both my Falcons teams have been in this
hmm
era as well. I think there's a college basketball team too that came up short. You probably more in the know of that. There's probably one that
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been like not. I promise this isn't because I'm piling on there, but like when Duke was in that run where you had like Jaleel Okafor and then Zion, like you had like all these future number one picks after number one pick. It was like if they keep getting this kind of talent, Duke's gonna win one, and they didn't win a national championship in that run. They won it after that.
I mean, I know they went to back-to-back national championships, but like the Butler teams with Shelvin Mack and
hmm
Gordon Hayward, like
Yeah.
Brad Stevens, they didn't do it.
Gonzaga is a good example. They went to
Hmm.
they went to a couple national championship games when they finally got over that hump, and it was like, yeah, this is like the floodgates opening for Gonzaga. And now they pulled back. So like, yeah.
That fantastic Wisconsin team
hmm
with Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker, they didn't do
hmm
it. Like,
God, Frank Kaminsky, one of the Hornets' worst picks of all time. Unbelievable.
no, he was not good. But I look at this Miami team, and part of why I thought that they could do it is they were kind of built very similar to last year's Ohio State team.
Yeah, very much
You,
so.
you have a seasoned transfer quarterback who plays really well in crunch time, and I think we would say that with Will Howard and Carson Beck.
hmm
You have the star true freshman wide receiver with Jeremiah Smith and Malachi Tony. You got the two edge rushers with JTT and Jack Sawyer who are
hmm
going pro, and then you got Mesidor, and then you got Bain. And then you got a little bit of everything else kind of around there. You got some star coordinators there with Jim Knowles and then and Chip Kelly. Obviously, Miami is going to retain both of theirs with
hmm
Shannon Dawson and Corey Heatherman, but it's like when you get there and you have all of these pieces it's this well-oiled machine that you can rely on. You got to start at the bottom of the summit. You got to
hmm
rescale this again. Look, I think Miami is the favorite to come out of the ACC next year. I think there's other teams out there, but Georgia Tech's still really good. Virginia Tech is ascending. Virginia's not going away. We think very highly of teams like NC State and Wake Forest. It's ACC might be better next year.
SMU is a team we haven't really talked about,
Hmm.
but Kevin Jennings is back with the Mustangs next year. Like that's a team that you got to watch out for. Like Miami still like to your point, Miami is still the class of the conference, and like I think that there's a difference in saying like Miami is probably the favorite out of the ACC to make the college football playoff, and also admitting that they're probably not going to reach the same heights. Like I think both things can be true.
For as much as they're probably excited about Darian Mensah, he ain't back.
hmm
There's for as much as I was dogging on Beck earlier, there's something he can do. Like he can march down the field with the best of any of them. I think
Yeah.
there's some plays where it's like he goes from 20 to 20. Like how did he do that? And
hmm
that's Mensah can kind of do that, but then Mensah lets it snowball a bit.
it honestly, to continue your Ohio State analogy, it feels a lot like going from Will Howard to Julian Sand.
Yeah.
Like that's not dissimilar in terms of
No.
like there are times where Julian Sand looks really damn good, and like you're like Ohio State was just backed up into the inside their own 10. How the hell are they in the red zone right now? Like three plays have happened, and it seemed like they didn't even get any big chunk yard. Like I don't understand how this happened. And then there's other times where you're like, Julian saying, "Do you understand the position of quarterback? Have you seen this before? Do you know what you're doing here?"
No, I'm saying.
No, I'm saying, man.
And this was 3 yards in the cloud of punt here on False Start. You can follow me, John Bueller, on Twitter or the X at Bueller118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review, because not four, five. Even if it was fourth and five, that's what Fernando had to do.
That's right. We want the yardage, not the down, baby.
I think he's going to win 5 games next year with the Raiders, not four.
Ooh, interesting NFL news breaking. The Titans are looking like they're going to hire Robert Saleh. I don't hate that. I kind of like that.
He was kind of a guy that I thought Atlanta might hire. That'd be the fourth guy because Jeff Hafley got hired by the Dolphins today, which
Mhm.
I like. Obviously, he's following John Eric Sullivan there from Green Bay. Obviously, my Falcons have Kevin Stefanski, which I'm pretty excited about.
100%. Stefanski's a good hire. Harbaugh's obviously a good hire in New York. Um, but I mean, I think Saleh got a bad rap in New York because the Jets are the Jets. Like the Jets were bad when he was the head coach, but a lot of that had to do with what they had on offense in terms of personnel. That was still one of the league's best defenses while Robert Saleh was there. And as soon as they fired him, it cratered and it hasn't recovered since.
Well, I mean, Joe Douglas drafted Zach Wilson. You got Cam Ward, another guy who was all about the U there. I don't know if Cam Ward's going to be able to make it happen. Apparently, Amy Adams Strunk was actually in Nashville today. God, she is the worst owner in the NFL. She's terrible. I this like it's like Mark Davis went to Miami to check out Fernando. He's probably gonna have like good vibes about it. Come play for the Raiders. Amy Adams is like, yeah, I can't be bothered to show up, and I'm just gonna fire people from my ivory tower that my cheap ass father built for me.
Can I zoom in? Can I
Can,
can I zoom in?
kind of a proxy do it like Arrested Development.
Like Ben Affleck in Good Will Hunting. Retainer.
Irritated. Uh, that was a big thing with Jeff Ulbrich today. The Falcons tweet out it's like retained.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's big. That's also big for the Falcons. I think Ulbrich did a good job this past year.
Yeah, definitely. And he was a good coach for Solace. That's
Mhm.
big for the Titans. One of me in the Arizona State podcast, funny bits is like, imagine like you're reading a book to your dogs, reading the Remus and Huron, like some like little nursery rhyme book that you guys have, and like retain. Here, listen to this. Remus, you pick up any of this. This is Uncle Remus. You got to learn about this. You're named after, baby. I don't know.
Remus struggles with like Dr. Seuss, man. He can't do it. Reading
Uh,
comprehension, not his forte.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. And I guess before we get out of here, maybe just like because it's on the fresh of our mind, we talked a lot about Miami today. Let's just finish with a little bit like last Indiana thoughts. Like, what are you going to remember the most about the 25-26 Indiana Hoosiers and their magical run to 16-0? What are you going to remember about this years from now?
I think I'm gonna like I think it's just two things that are tied together. I think I'm gonna remember obviously Fernando, just like how fun this was watching a kid like who, you know, was committed to Yale, went to Cal, and then transferred to Indiana, and somehow that resulted in a Heisman Trophy and a national championship. Like, I don't think we can overlook that. Like, this is a dude who wasn't even going to play FBS football when he first like committed to Yale. Like, think about that. And like now he's the Heisman Trophy winner and a national champion of an undefeated Indiana Hoosiers football team. The other part is Curt Cignetti. Like, we kind of talked about it coming into this year, and you floated the idea that Curt Cignetti become the villain? And like in some ways, yeah, I think in the Big Ten, like if you're a fan of anyone other than the Indiana Hoosiers, he's probably is the villain. But he also like talked that shit and backed it up. And like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean that obviously Fernando and Sig are probably the two big things here. His parents went to Miami. His mom played tennis there. His dad did crew. He lived
Yeah.
up 2 miles away. His dad graduated a year before, right around Mario Cristobal,
Yep.
and Manny Diaz, whatever, didn't recruit.
Here we are.
And like, would even like will him walk on or something like that. And,
Mhm.
and then he goes back to his hometown and beats the school that he grew up rooting for. He apparently grew up, he was a massive Brad Kaya fan.
God, it's amazing he turned out as good as he did.
And
We
Malik,
need to remember Brad Kaya sometime this offseason. Not
Malik,
like we need to do a reverse guys remembering dudes and just dudes who remember being dog water. Actually, you know what? I've got an idea. Never mind. We'll save that.
yeah, we'll say that for Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna remember obviously Fernando Mendoza just being the most if they made Kirk Cousins in a lab,
Yes, 100%.
we
And
rebuilt him.
they taught Kirk Cousins how to run.
His femurs are made out of adamantium now. And then I also remember like Coach Cig was like, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Just the most stubborn the most stubborn Hoosier of all time. Just brought the Hoosiers a goddamn national championship.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, like I can't. I still haven't like fully wrapped my head around how absurd it is that Indiana is the national champion, and we get like that. That's a thing for the next year.
I know. Oh man, smoking through the filter if you got them because this is False Start.